Oh, I was dying. I called him like 10 times. Oh,
I love it. I mean, with it, you know. On a more happier note, I did manage to stay busy during the pandemic. I did a movie from my living room. Yeah, and it wasn't even on Pornhub. The movie already came out in theaters. It's called Space Jam. It's the movie with LeBron. Los Angeles, you are looking at the new voice of Speedy Gonzalez. Thank you. I found it ironic that they hired the slowest Mexican to play the fastest. You know? And 2 weeks after I get this part, I come to find out that they're trying to cancel Speedy Gonzalez. I'm sure some of you heard that they came after two cartoons. They came after Pepe Le Pew and Speedy. Now, Pepe, I understand. He's a little touchy. You know, but he disguises it with the mon chéri, mon chéri, yeah. But Speedy Gonzalez, what's his crime? He's Mexican and he's fast. That is not a crime. In Montebello, that's called job security. So I said, I cannot let them hurt Speedy. You know, I can't let them cancel him. So I came to his defense. Plus, it was my only job. I went to the only place I felt I could go to protect him. I went on Twitter. And Twitter's a scary place. It is. You only go there to fight, to get into it, to prove a point. And so a friend of mine said, if you want to get some attention, use a hashtag. And so I did. And I wrote a tweet that said, hey, hashtag cancel culture. My name is Gabriel Iglesias, and I'm the new voice of Speedy Gonzalez. You cannot cancel or catch me. And I posted it. I had no idea that when you go on Twitter looking for problems, you will find them. Oh yeah, every major news outlet picked up my tweet and used it in a story about cancel culture. ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN. If I would have known that, I would have used spell check. Because my family called. Eres pendejo, qué chingados, ¿qué te pasa? No escribe bien. Oh my God. Even Fox News did a story with my tweet. Fox News? You know how I know? My bus driver Dave called me. Oh, he was thrilled. He was like, Fluffy, God damn it, I've never been prouder. You made it, baby. You're on Fox News. I said, Dave, shut up. You're stupid. He's like, America. Even Warner Brothers Pictures reached out to say thank you. And before I know it, I was on a Zoom call. And I know a lot of us had to get used to Zoom. And it's kind of convenient, right? All they see is this. So to entertain myself, every time I took a Zoom call, I was full Winnie the Pooh. And if you're not laughing right now, you better ask someone who is, because there is no coming back from full Winnie the Pooh. I was leaving baby powder all over the house. It looked like an episode of Narcos. So I get on this Zoom call with the director, writer, and producer of Space Jam. And they're being super nice, super supportive, super cool. They're like, Gabriel, thank you so much for lending your voice talents to our film. We really, really appreciate you being part of this. If you have any questions or concerns, let us know. So, well, thank you. We have a question for you. I said, okay. How do you feel about the voice of Speedy Gonzalez? I said, well, what do you mean? Well, you know, some people find him to be a little stereotypical. What are your thoughts? I said, well, you have not met my family. I cannot speak for all brown people, but I can tell you that me personally, in my house growing up, Speedy Gonzalez was not viewed in a negative way. As a matter of fact, he was the only form of representation we had growing up. It was him and the little bumblebee on The Simpsons. Gabriel, we were thinking that perhaps you would like to lend your real speaking voice to the character, maybe modernize him a little, bring him up to speed. I said, well, with all due respect, I appreciate the fact that you would give me the power to change the sound of such an iconic character. But at the end of the day, when people see the movie, I don't want them to think of me. I want them to think of Speedy Gonzalez. So I said, please keep his voice original. And then he asked the question, well, do you think you can do the voice? How did I get the part? Now remember, I never auditioned for Speedy Gonzalez. They just called me, and I assumed that they knew that I did voices for a living and that I could pull this off. So I says, what made you choose me if you didn't know whether or not I could do the... Oh. You needed a big brown shield in case shit happened, huh? And then all three people on the phone call were like, I said, well, don't worry, because with me, you get a twofer. You get an actual Mexican, and you get someone that can nail the voice. So, oh yeah. That's right. So before I know it, this sound person, the guy who does recordings over at Warner Brothers, gets on the call. The only thing I know about this guy is that he's loud. Okay, he gets on the call, he's like, Gabriel Iglesias, how are you? Wow, wow. How's it going? My name is Steven. I'm the sound coordinator here at Warner Brothers Pictures. So listen, buddy, here's what's going to happen. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit record. And as soon as I hit record, I just need for you to start talking like Speedy Gonzalez. We're going to get the flow, the tempo, the timing. And as soon as we got it dialed in, we're going to make a movie. Sound good? Sounds good. All right, this is Gabriel Iglesias for Space Jam, A New Legacy. Speedy Gonzalez, take one. Gabriel, mic check. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Sounds good. All right, here we go. And go. All right, here we go.
Hola amigos, I am Speedy Gonzalez de Pases Mouse en all México. ¡Arriba! ¡Epa, pándale!
The director, writer, and producer, all three were like, that was perfect. I said, I know, I've been Mexican a long time. And I said, and don't just think that just because I'm Mexican, I can only play the Mexican character. I said, I do voices for a living. If given the opportunity, I could voice the entire film all by myself. I could. Watch. Marvin the Martian.
Oh my modulator.
Yosemite Sam.
Ah, hike that rabbit.
Bugs Bunny.
What's up, Doc?
I said, you can fire all the other voice actors right now. I will do the whole movie for half plus medical insurance. And it was the middle of 2020, so I meant that shit. I'm like, yeah, no copay, no copay. Now, in all seriousness, not to be funny, not to be disrespectful, let me tell you the reason why I would be an amazing gay partner. The level of communication between two men is so high, I might actually get an answer. There might be clarity and understanding. I might hear a yes. I might hear a no. Do you know how many relationships I have been in where I still don't know the outcome to certain conversations? Very simple yes or no questions. That's what I would do. Something as simple as, baby, you hungry? Well, I haven't eaten yet, so I probably should eat something, but I'm not feeling it right now. But if I don't eat right now, you know how I'm gonna get later. So I guess it's probably a good idea if I start eating right now. But it really depends on the options. What do you think? Ah! What about this one? Baby, where would you like to eat? You hear all the guys? Yeah. Finally! I'm not alone! Everybody's pointing at somebody right now. Guys, am I right? This has to be, you would think that this is the safest question in the world to ask, but it's not. Well, just pick something. You know me, I'm go with the flow. Whatever you decide is okay with me. You know me already, just pick something. All right, we're going to Burger King. I don't like Burger King. Why do we gotta go to Burger King? Burger King gives me choro. Choro is Mexican diarrhea. How about this one? How do you feel? Really? Really? You want to know how I feel? Well, you know, maybe if you'd pay attention from time to time, you might know how I feel. You might not need to have to ask me such a question because you would already know exactly how I feel. The amount of time and energy I've exhausted to let you know how I feel, and you have the nerve to ask me, how do you feel? Now imagine the exact same conversation between me and Mr. Lexus. Do you know how efficient that conversation would be? Hey, bro, you hungry? Thought you'd never ask. What do you want to eat? Whatever you want to eat. We're going to Burger King. I love Whoppers. Me too. We go to Burger King and we tear it up. We get back home and I ask him, hey, how do you feel? Horny. Me too. How do you want to do this? Heads or tails? It would be efficient. It's hypothetical. But believe me, I still think about it, you know? Especially whenever I get into fights with my girl and she says something like, oh, you think you can do better? Oh, I know I could have a Lexus. I don't know, man. I know we're in the middle of a Netflix taping. Whoever's running the light up there, just want to make sure, because I keep moving, and I stepped out of your light twice, just... Any other show, I'd be like, no problem, no big deal. But this is for Netflix. It's the people that replaced Comedy Central. But no, I'll try not to move too fast. But how slow are you if you can't keep up with me? You should work for immigration. I'm just giving you a hard time. I'm sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for that. Can we give a big round of applause to our person running the spotlight up there? I honestly don't think that the people that work behind the scenes, like the spotlight operators, get enough credit. Whether it's the spotlight operators, the people that run the cameras, the people that set up the stages, the people that work security, the people that run the building. Without them, there is no show. And the same thing goes with me. I got my own support team, managers, agents, promoters, you know, freaking merchandise people. I have a bus driver named Dave who has never received any credit. And he's been working for me for almost 10 years now. This man has successfully gotten me to every single comedy show on time without fail. If I had to describe him to you, okay? Dave looks like the word America. Not America, America. He's about 6 feet tall, he's white, he has a gray beard, and he wears a trucker hat. And he's gotta be one of the most hardworking people I have ever met. Now, when I say hardworking, hey, I'm on the road 46 weeks out of the year, so I know. Difference is, I fly home every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Dave stays on that bus and he gets it to the next city where we meet him. He works anniversaries, holidays, special moments. Christmas time, I was with my family. Dave was driving that bus on the East Coast. New Year's, I was with my family. Dave was on the East Coast driving that bus. One of the hardest working people I've ever met. I just want to give him a shout out. In addition to being hardworking, he's very honest. Now, when I say honest, I don't mean, oh, he does his taxes right. I mean painfully honest, no filter honest. He talks the way people used to. He does not have time to mince words. He just calls it like he sees it. Before me, he used to work with a man by the name of Kenny G. Grammy Award winner, amazing music. One day, Kenny G was on his tour bus that Dave was driving, and I guess the two of them had a little discussion, and Kenny G used some words that Dave would have rather him not have used, and instead of getting into it with him, this is what Dave does. Kicked Kenny G off of his own bus because he would rather lose his job than lose his self-respect. And that's the man I work with. He's a bad dude. You guys are clapping, but you should have seen the interview. Oh man, it was a good one. He looks at me and he says, "Hey, let's get one thing straight. I don't give a shit who you are. You treat me right, I'll treat you right. You pay me on time, you'll live." Not to mention the fact that he keeps that tour bus squeaky clean. And he takes a lot of pride in that as well. One night, I was drinking on the bus, and I go to put my cup down, and I missed the table, and the cup hit the floor. I didn't get up right away to get the cup, because I figured I'm gonna get up in a couple minutes and make myself another drink. I'll pick up the cup then. Dave sees the cup on the floor, and then he looks at me and says, "Hey, I ain't your mama. Pick that shit up." I get to the back of the bus, and I'm like, wait a minute, I pay him. "Hey, Dave, shut up. Yeah, I'll be in the back in my room. Thank you. Drive safe." And people tell me, you work with a man who talks that way to you? Why? Let me tell you why. Because he's honest. With Dave, you know exactly what you get. Nowadays, it is so hard for me to tell who's being genuine and who has an agenda. And with him, you know exactly where you stand. If he likes you, he loves you. And if not, you're on the curb with Kenny G.